If you rely on in-platform metrics to grow your Google Ads business, your business will not grow. It will stall and likely get worse. How many times do you see your agency's dashboard say the conversion value and the ROAS are up? Nice green charts. But then you go into board meetings, your profit margins have compressed, your new customer volumes are down, and no one's doing anything about it. Everyone just keeps saying performance is strong in the ads account, but nothing is changing. So this video is exactly for you guys who understand this pressure and this strain and how to figure out how we bridge these conversations, what is the solution, and how to grow your business profitably in Google Ads using the right metrics. Hint, it's not the in-platform ones. Real quick one, I'm Kieran, I'm the founder of Kiezo Growth. I'm a Google Ads freelance consultant working specifically with e-commerce brands in the UK, spending between 10 and 100 grand a month. If you're interested to learn more about who I am and what we do, stick around to the end because there's lots of free resources and a free consultation for you guys. So this is the struggle. This shouldn't be new to anyone. You know, Google Ads has a very rose-tinted view of performance. It's nice to see every week when you do reporting, green lines go up, happy days, your conversion value looks good, your ROAS looks good. It might even be at a 3 or a 4, but it still doesn't actually tie back to your business. It's not really clear what this actually means for heads of marketing, for heads of growth, founders, and even the board. A ROAS doesn't mean anything without context. Your conversion value and platform going up doesn't mean anything in relation to the P&L. These are two completely different conversations. So if you stay only in platform, you're going to end up speaking a completely different language and ultimately lose trust within the team. So why does ROAS and conversion value not hold up? Well, number one, conversion value is just whatever the tag can fire on. So if your tag is set up incorrectly, that number is fictitious. That might be revenue, it might not be. Does it have a promo amount taken away in there? What about returns? Are they factored in? What about all the different shipping, storage, all of these different factors that go into it? Just because your Google Ads tag says a financial amount doesn't mean that revenue actually stays in your pocket at the end of the day. Number two, there's a lot of modeling going on in there. It's trying to work out for people who have opted out of cookies, did they actually go on to purchase and what is that figure? You don't have 100% true data coming in there. Some of that revenue number is a best estimate. And if it's Google, it's going to be favored towards them to help you spend more. So we can't really trust conversion value too much. ROAS is even worse. I'm not a big fan of ROAS. I think like everything in the platform, and I can't stress this enough, this has to be directional. You should not be reporting back that ROAS is up or down. It should be a signal as to the wider performance of the business. We should be tying everything back to the P&L where possible and using different parts of the account to do different things. So if we blanket term, say ROAS is 3 or 4, you lose all the specificity, you lose the context, and it's not tied back to the business. But why is ROAS not great? The problem is ROAS is an efficiency strategy, right? All we're saying to Google is, I'm trying to find sales. I need you to get it at this ratio. For every X amount of pounds that I put in, I generate this much revenue. This doesn't tell Google, is it, I want new customers, I want repeat customers, I want them to buy this product, I want to make sure they're first-time buyers, they're not buying on a discount, we want to make sure that they're good quality buyers. None of that comes through in just a ROAS, not at all. So Google's job when it says put in your target ROAS isn't saying find me revenue. It's saying how many people or how many sales can you get me at this efficiency level? So Google, it's not a magic revenue generating machine. If you put a low T ROAS number and you've been conditioned to do this, it looks terrible on the platform. People are going to panic. They're going to twist things and change things up. But actually, you're reaching cold audiences. If someone's new to you, it's going to be harder for them to convert because there's more friction. They don't know anything about you. They're not ready to buy. Whereas if you have someone who's been on your website several times, they might have added stuff to cart. They might already be on your customer list. They're an existing customer. They're on your newsletters. They bought from you 3 times last year. They are a hell of a lot easier to convert. And Google knows that. It's not stupid. It's got millions of touch points. So when you set a target ROAS, you're telling Google, how warm do I need to go? So the lower the ROAS, the colder you are. You're reaching fresh audiences. This is what helps you grow your business. This is that new customer volume that your heads of marketing love. This is what the board loves. You need to be able to say that the Google Ads account can drive new customer volume. And the way we do this is through having a low target ROAS. Yes, it looks bad, but this is how you do it. The warmer you go, the higher the target, the more people you reach who have already interacted with your site or already your customers. That's not inherently a bad thing. If you're trying to go for retention plays and use the account to reactivate existing customers, go for it. Go for a high target ROAS. If you're trying to focus on profitability and you have limited budget, increase your target ROAS. Go after people who are already warm and already know about you, because then that way you can maximize your efficiency with the channel. If you're trying to go for growth and balance profitability, you need to be looking at cold. So it's a scale. That's all it is. From 0 or 1 all the way up to 999. ROAS is just an efficiency dial. So every week when you report ROAS as good or bad, subjectively, it's not tied to anything. It's just how warm we're going on Google. Some weeks will fluctuate, some will be better than others, depends. But all you're trying to do is gauge how warm the traffic you're sending to the website is. How warm is this audience pool? So if we know that conversion value is an estimate and it doesn't factor in everything that makes the product profitable, and ROAS is a warmth dial, what do we actually need to be doing with Google Ads? How do we measure success if it's not inside the platform? Well, I think the best 4 ways to do this is through your new customer acquisition cost. How much are you spending for your business to acquire one new customer? Is that profitable? So we look at contribution margin at CM2 and CM3. You can also look at customer lifetime value, not just on that first order, like the first 2, but over the customer's entire lifetime with you. How much do they spend? Is it profitable? And number 4, your payback window. How long does it take this customer to eventually become profitable with you? How much are you spending to acquire them? How long does it take for that spend to become profitable? Are you waiting 6 months, 12 months? Are you waiting a year and a half? All of this matters, and different verticals will focus on different things. For example, in premium furniture, you'd want to be breaking even on the first order, usually through the higher AOV, makes it a bit easier. So you don't need to worry too much about lifetime value. You just need to know that, am I making money back on the first order? But for a supplements business, you're going to be saying, well, we can afford to take the hit on the first order because we know they come back and buy for the next 6 to 12 months. So we can be unprofitable, but within the next 2 quarters, we're back up, we're making profit. So different verticals have to take different approaches. But regardless, in-platform should not be the only way you look at things. It should be a diagnostic, not definitive. So if we know that we skip out in-platform, we focus on these 4 quadrant of metrics, we need to go into number 1, NCAC. This needs to replace your in-platform cost per acquisition. In-platform tells you Google's modeled sales, how much ad spend did you put towards that? That is your cost per acquisition. Sounds great on the surface. You can say Google's CPA is this, Meta's is that. But again, they're all taking credit for the same sales. It's modeled and there's attribution bias within it. Google will always go towards preferably lower end of the purchase journey. So usually the last couple clicks in that sales journey will get the credit, not the ones that did the hard work at the start of the journey. So your bottom of funnel, mainly your brands, gets over attributed and performance looks better than it is. And you take budget away from the stuff that did the hard work. Boom, your business stops growing. This is why we have to zoom out of the platform. So if we look at NCAC, what do we actually mean? It's just new customer acquisition costs. You need to take your total acquisition cost and divide it by the number of new customers you've actually acquired. Do not look in the platform. Use the back end. Use your Shopify. Work out how many new customers came in and what was the acquisition cost. I do not mean ad spend. Let's be very, very clear. I mean all of your paid media spend. All of your agency fees, your freelancer fees, any creative production costs you had to shoot videos of the products, UGC, etc. You then need to add in any attribution tools, analytics tools you guys are running, and then also any headcounts. If you are a lean in-house team, the people working on the accounts that have then contributed towards the channel sales, their salaries can go instead of agency or freelancers. It's not just ad spend. You can start ad spend, but you have to be aware that's not the fully loaded CAC. You need to be factoring all of this in for NCAC. So it's great, Kieran, all right, well, let's focus on NCAC. How the hell do we know what our NCAC should be? How do we do it? All of that good stuff. So fear not, I've put together, shameless little plug, I put together a unit economics calculator, and this also captures your NCAC completely free. I'll drop it in the description below, and you can see exactly in real time how much you can afford to spend on a specific SKU or a range, and then actually modeling how much you are spending to see if you're above or below break even. Are you making money on it or not? So super simple. You just need to know, once you've factored all of that in, just add it into the calculator, and then you can see if your contribution positive or negative. But that alone isn't that helpful. Our NCAC is £250, for example. Is that making, are we profitable? Who knows? Do we want to be that high? What happens if we go above that? This is where the second part, contribution margin, comes in, because NCAC by itself in isolation isn't that helpful. And it has, just like ROAS, it has to be in relation to something else. So for your contribution margin, what we're doing is we're just saying, after gross revenue, usually the transaction value the tag captures in Google Ads, what happens when you strip out returns, discounts, storage, shipping, pick and pack, buy now, pay later, fulfillment fees, all of that, all of those variable costs hit the business, they hit the P&L. You don't see them in Google Ads, but they exist, and it massively affects your profitability. And you're probably overstating how good the ads account is because it's not factoring this in. So again, this calculator linked in the description covers all of that. All you need to do is just take 2 minutes, answer the questions, put in the figures and for your SKU or the range, and you can see if the SKU is profitable or not. You can add in all of your acquisition costs, you can add in your return rates and model out different scenarios. But what you end up with is then how much after COGS and then after all of the variable costs is the target, if you like. In Google Ads, you can then set this in the screenshot. We've got 1.6. We can say, we know that before any ad spend or acquisition cost goes towards this product, in order to make any money, we've got to be at least a 1.64. Yes, there's attribution bias, but just broadly speaking, at a 1.64. So you can then tailor your campaigns around that ROAS target. And if you want to go after, and if you realize that actually you've got more headroom, you are profitable, you can then lower that further, go colder, find new audiences. Or actually, if you're struggling to reach that profitability and you need to be profitable, increase that ROAS target and then adjust spend where needed from there. You should not be setting this as a one and done. This should be returned to very frequently, as SKU roles change over time. You might need to push stuff, pull stuff back, things get discontinued, stock starts to stall in the warehouse. All of this is very dynamic. It's not set and forget. And then number two, your margins will change over time as well. It's not fixed. Margins are constantly changing. Suppliers are having issues, or macro factors affect things. You should be looking at this and then adjusting, depending on conversion volume as well, how the target needs to be moved. It could be 1.8, it could be a 2, it could be down to a 1. In this example, it's completely dependent on the business conversion volume and the factors around your P&L. So on that as well, if it's at a 1.6 on first order, again, as we discussed earlier of LTV, you can go colder, sacrifice profitability in the first order, provided you've got the LTV in payback window, which the calculator also has, especially for the supplements and fashion and beauty ones on my website. You can see that LTV as well. You haven't got to worry just about first order profitability. It covers all of it. So from this point on, we now need to say, we know that conversion value is an estimate. ROAS is a warmth dial. So when we report onto the things of the business, yes, we can include these, but they are directional. And then we need to stop thinking ROAS was better this week versus last year. We need to be thinking, are we generating more profit for the business, if that's the ambition, using this strategy? If not, why not? Are there macro factors? Are there things outside our control, outside the ads account? Or is the account not set up to help drive the business's profitability goals? Ultimately, you should not live in the platform as the be-all and end-all. Use this to help steer the ship, but you need to be looking at your back end for that validation, that P&L accuracy. Otherwise, you're just saying, yeah, ROAS is now this in the ads account, but have you tied it back to new customers? Have you tied it back to contribution margin? Otherwise, you've just changed what you report on and made it hazier. So use the platform directionally, validate with the P&L, and start using the TROAS target as a warmth dial, as a slider for new customer acquisition. However, it's not all profitability. It is very important, and you'll see in PPC that POAS is the new thing, not just ROAS, profit on ad spend, but not every SKU should try and be profitable. It's the same as accounts that only try and grow top line. It doesn't always work. For e-com, you need to be thinking about different products have different roles. Not every product, for example, you might have some stock that's just sitting in the warehouse. It's not doing anything. It's aged. You're going to lose money the longer it stays in there, and you're going to accrue more warehouse costs every month. This should be a cash flow job. Push this in. Don't worry about profitability too much. Maybe set as a lower profitable target. Just try and clear that stock, maximize cash flow back into the business. Yes, you're going to take a hit, but this helps cash flow, and that's what businesses survive on. If you've got new products, you might want to focus on maximizing sales volume, stealing that market share, getting that initial data in, and trying to get that initial customers in on this new range. You're not going to be super profitable versus your BAU range because it's a new launch. It just doesn't happen. Or the other point is gateway products. Not every product is designed to be profitable on the first buy anyway. Look at LTV. Look at your supplements businesses. All of these know that if you buy once, you get them on subscription 6, 12, 18 months. It doesn't matter if your NCAC on the first order drops below break even, you lose 20% on the first order because you don't have to wait that long for the payback window to come in, and you've made all that back plus profit because it's over their lifetime. So different products have different functions. Some will be profitable, and that's what you want the core of your account to be doing, but others do serve different purposes. So don't treat every SKU as having to be profitable. Split them out, understand the roles, and where you need to be profitable, focus on NCAC on the first order, focus on contribution margin. Where you've got cash flow recovery jobs, just focus on top line. If you're looking for sort of longer term profitability, LTV, especially in those supplement type businesses, focus on their payback windows, how long it takes you over their lifetime to become profitable, how many times a year are they buying, how do you increase repeat rate and that retention, are there loyalty programs, are there automations and email flows? It's not just acquisition we need to think about, it's the whole picture. So I hope everyone's found this super helpful. The only other thing I've got to ask is just if you are keen and you're not sure if your Google Ads account is set up and designed for what you need it to do, and you're not sure if there's any red flags going on, you're starting to lose confidence in things, all you have to do is link in description, book in a free Calendly call with me. You get a 20-minute free consultation. We'll go through any red flags and try and work out and solve those together. Completely free, no payment at all. You just get the best output you can in a free call with me. Cheers.